All right.
Us coaches.
What is up, guys? Chris with the Smart Flip here with my co-host Matt Shirley, the console king himself. Um, Guys, today we're going to be talking about the biggest barriers or transitions in becoming a six-figure flipper. And before we do that, I want to highlight some wins that we have in our school community right now. So right now, we got Kevin here who's quitting his job this month. It's pretty awesome. He just hit his 80th device this month. Pretty freaking cool.
Wow.
And then we just got wins after wins after wins going on here, guys. Like the recelerator community it just wins all the time. So,
yeah.
But today, guys, I want to talk about we want to talk about how to transition, mindset wise, sales wise, and stuff like that from a side hustle to a full-time six-figure flipper. Recelerator has now created, I think, 12 or 13 phone flippers or resellers that do over $100,000 in profit per year. That, in my opinion, is impressive since we've only been really like coaching for 2 years, like legitimately. And if I include when I worked with Dave, it's more than that, but I'm not going to do that. So we've created about 12 six-figure flippers. So we've seen the rise of like what people need to do to make that happen. Oh, and before I do that, I want to show you guys one of our six-figure flippers. We had Brandon on a couple weeks ago, and Brandon sent me an amazing photo yesterday.
All right.
Let me share my screen here real fast. This is Brandon. This is his car, full of inventory. Look at that. He's got a seatbelt on one of them.
Amazing.
This is inventory that he's shipping out. Talk about amazing.
Wow.
Wild. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about how to become a six-figure flipper, the limiting beliefs around that, and just different things like that. And so let's do it. So I want to start off with the core four, because that's kind of the side hustle aspect of the business, right? Reach outs, social media ads, diversification, and negotiations. Matt, I'm going to let you talk about the reach outs, dude. Like, because we start most people off in Recelerator with game console reach outs. Like, let's go over how important the base is for reach outs. And, guys, for a long time, I didn't believe in reach outs at all. Like, just saying. Like, Matt is the guy that brought me back around to that game. And, like, I was ads all the way and mostly still in, but I did get 20 Oculus Quests yesterday from reach out. So, they work.
Yeah,
that's $800
that's
to
incredible.
Profit, if not a little bit.
Yeah, let me respond to that, and let me also shout out a couple of people in Console Kings. I want to give a big shout out to Rick Madal. He just recently picked up his first item, MetaQuest 3, along with Catherine Contreras, who's been doing great, just doing reach outs and getting consoles and VR systems. My guy Moss just picked up a Valve Index, and so there's some really cool things happening in Recelerator and Console Kings, and I think it's fantastic. Reach outs are they are the lowest barrier to entry within the resale game is reach outs. Jumping on any local marketplace like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, or Nextdoor app is what I talk to and teach people about mostly. And so many people think that they can just go and get items and just flip them. And the truth is, like, you really can. You just have to kind of know where the value lies. And once you do, like, you're in the pocket. So the reach outs are just such an incredible and like generous resource for a lot of people. As long as you are confident on your buy price and know your market, then you can make money all the time because there's deals there all the time. And I tell a lot of people that whenever I was trying to cultivate this method for buying consoles and VR systems and video games, what I really, really, really wanted to become good at was just being able to jump on the marketplace, any marketplace at any given moment and find 50 to $100. And that is something that I almost can't not do now. Like I just see money. And of course, as my role with the, with you, Chris, like collaborating together, and then also with students is I'm in different zip codes across the US every week, helping people source their area and find deals. And typically, whether it's a big town or a small town, I usually find somewhere between like 15 to 20 deals. And Chris can testify to that.
Lately,
We're
it's
not,
20 almost every time.
yeah, I mean, we're not over here flexing or capping. Like I don't have anyone to impress, with these numbers. It's just the law of averages. Like the more I did this, the better I got at it. But also like the better I got at teaching other people how to find those opportunities, which is something we share in Console Kings. But the first of the core four is reach outs, because it's low barrier of entry, and really easy to scale your income. Like you can find items literally for anywhere from, I'd say, you can find items from 10 to 50 bucks. Like I could show you a $30 item right now that you could probably turn into like a 70, 80, $100 item. And then you scale that. And so then you go buy a $50 item and you double your money. And then you just keep doing that until you have a grand or 500 bucks. And then you go buy just a higher level, like higher dollar item, and keep scaling up. And usually what I encourage people to do is just get to about, save up 1,000, 1,500, $2,000, and then roll it into your expertise. Like roll it into
Yeah,
the next one, which would be social media ads, Facebook, Google. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
just
So I'm gonna
roll
throw
that
it back.
money.
I'm gonna throw it back to you, man.
I think reach outs are important, specifically for people getting started. I mean, the biggest one is like you need to get used to the word no, right? Like a lot of people are not used to that, and they need to be. It's important that you get good at being able to get past that first no. And I think the reason why we basically force people to do 600 reach outs in their first month of Recelerator is like Recelerator is reselling accelerated. Like we are shortcutting the path that's going to take you 2 years, and we're doing it in like 6 months or less, right? And you can accelerate that even further if you like. If you want to do 600 or you want to do 3,000,
Yep.
like that's where all of the knowledge comes from. The knowledge actually comes from doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're going to teach you stuff and you can learn and quote unquote get the knowledge, but you don't have any perspective until you actually do something about it and do something with the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So I think in that case, reach outs are very important. And I didn't think so for a long time, honestly. Like I was just like, throw up some ads and get people coming to you. And what I realized though is like you're spending money and you don't know how to take the word no. So it's kind of a double whammy. Like if you don't know how to negotiate, you're basically burning money, right?
You are.
So, yeah, I mean, reach outs, they're important, especially for the new beginner reseller. Now, moving on to social ads, I mean, like Facebook and Google ads, Facebook specifically. Facebook is more of an entry level ads type thing now. Very easy to start, very easy to begin, but the only thing is you need to know how to negotiate. Like, and we'll get to negotiation here in a minute, but like there's certain key factors and skills you have to have. And one of them is actually tracking your freaking numbers. Like if you don't know what you're spending versus what you're making, you're just basically putting a blindfold on and spending money, right? I was talking with somebody the other day and they were talking to me and I was like, well, what's your return on ad spend? And they were like, what? And I'm like, how much money are you spending versus how much money are you making? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well,
that's not good.
If you ask the CEO of a company, that they probably know, so a lot of people just don't take, and we'll get to this as we get to the 6-figure flipper stuff. But I mean, the third one out of that is diversification. Being able to purchase more than phones. Number one, it just makes you more valuable to the customer, right? Like I had a repeat customer hit me up this morning, and like he Ubered 2 phones to me last night. I kid you not. Like I sent Matt the message. Like I bought
Yeah,
two
it was
phones.
like what, 10:30?
It was 10:30 at night. Yeah. I couldn't get to, we couldn't meet yesterday, and he was like, "Dude, I'll just Uber you the phones." I bought 2 phones from him 2 days ago and a MacBook, and I actually got a
Incredible.
MacBook for free. But then he Ubered me
Nice.
these 2 phones right here last night, and I
Wow.
paid him via Cash App once they arrived. And then today he hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I got an iPad that I'm looking to sell. You want it?" Absolutely, man. Like this was one Google lead, but
Wow.
he knows
That's
that I
awesome.
buy more than just iPhones, and so he's just like, "Here, I got stuff, dude. Like I got broken stuff, and I buy broken stuff." So
Dude, that's awesome.
me up, and he'll be sending me the details here in a little bit, if not on this call, actually.
Yeah.
Um, so being able to diversify um, everything and what you do is very, very important. Uh, so I mean, buy more than phones. Become more of an asset to your customers. Most people don't realize that.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thinks about like what the customer wants. A lot of the
Yeah.
time, they think all they want is money. While that is true,
Yep.
like if you like, here's how I kind of explain this. You can become a um, you can become a massive asset to your customers by buying iPhones, Samsungs, MacBooks, iPads, smartwatches, VR headsets, cameras, game consoles. Like once they know that, they become a repeat customer faster and they sell you more items. Right? So that's how that works. Um, and that's the third thing in the side hustle, right? Um, and then negotiation. You just got to get good at negotiation. Like I'm just gonna put that out there. And the only way to get good at negotiation is to do a lot of it.
Yep.
The faster you do it, the better you get. I always talk about Navon because Navon he took our process and accelerated it by himself, right? Like he took all of the information we gave him that usually takes people 6 months to a year to get to, and did it in 3. So you can accelerate your own learning process by doing more, right? Because it gives you more perspective. You end up getting more contacts. Like he met a lot of people. He did 3,600 reach outs his first month. His first month, he met a lot of people that he now sells to, does business with, all sorts of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in and of that, like he basically shortcutted his way by volume. And that's basically how the whole game works is like if you can do more volume than everybody else, you just inevitably win.
Yeah.
And so do more stuff. If you do more stuff, you make more money. That's just kind of how it works.
Yeah. Well, the
So
name of the
that's your
game
side
is,
hustle.
yeah. The name of the game though is like these are people got to realize like what Chris is saying, what I'm sharing with you, like these are 4 methodologies or approaches to get more inventory. If you get more inventory, guess what? You make more sales. And if you make more sales, you make more money. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I wanted to speak to the diversification element for a second because I talk a lot about consoles, VR systems, and guys, within the realm of that niche of electronics, there is so much opportunity. I mean, um, I was initially exposed to phones, iPads, Apple products, but then when I started exploring consoles, and Chris, you could probably say the same thing. When you started exploring consoles, it was like a whole new world, wasn't it?
Dude, yeah. For real. I mean, every electronic you get into is a whole new world. Like I got into GoPros there for a little while. Dude,
Hmm.
GoPros all over marketplace.
Yep.
All over. Like you can get those things pretty cheap too, and they sell. Like the thing is like you can hone in on a specific niche
Yep.
and and do really freaking well. Like, I mean, Catherine's a good example of this, right? She has honed it.
Hmm.
She's not even really buying phones, right? Since she joined whatever, all of our stuff.
That's
She's
true.
not even in Recelerator, like the mentorship yet. And like she bought cameras. She's gonna make over $2,000 in profit off of cameras alone.
Yep.
She may just hone in all the way on cameras. You know, it really
Yeah.
depends. We
Yeah.
had one student a while back. All he flipped was cameras. That
Yeah.
was all he flipped, and he made like $1,000 a week. You
Yep.
know, it's the same process, just
Yeah.
different items every time. And if you can get good at multiple of them, or just zone in on one
Yep.
that nobody else is, example of this, VR. Like I think Moss only flips VR for the most part right now. He's trying to get into ads and phones and things like that. But
Yeah.
right now he focused so heavily on the
Yeah.
VR game
Yeah.
that that's just what he's good at now, like by default. So like I mean, you're right. Like there's just so much opportunity that it's hard.
Hard to
There's just
miss.
money everywhere. Like once you see it, all you see is dollar bills everywhere.
It's true. Hmm.
Anything else you wanted to add to that?
Um, yeah, I think, well, talking about like barriers and transitions to become six-figure resellers is I think if we're gonna name what those things are, like guys, one of those barriers, or call it a limiting belief, or just, a restraint that people put on themselves, is to think that this market is like tapped, or
Yeah,
this is saturated, or everybody's flipping phones. Oh, and like, people that are trying to make it learn how to pivot. One great way to pivot is to diversify. Don't just diversify what you buy, also diversify your approach to how you buy it. Okay. You could do reach outs, you could do social media ads, you could diversify, you could build bridges with local repair shops and pawn shops, you could get better at negotiations. You could do meetups with people and then give them a referral bonus because they're going to send other people to meet up with you. Like you just like people that are really focused on actually trying to get paid seem to typically find a way to get paid.
very true.
So do you like being in a conversation that Chris and I previously had, someone said, do you want to be right, or do you, and stay poor, or do you want to, grow, learn, and make a little more?
Yeah, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? Like I mean, it's hard to argue with the volume game, right?
It is, yeah,
Like just inevitably, like if you work more hours, you make more money. Like at
yeah,
a regular typical job, if you do that, you make more money, right?
yeah.
Like that's the volume piece. So the thing is like if you're driving for Uber right now, right? And maybe some of you are great, right? I did that for a while. It sucked and I hated it, but you know, it made me some money. But the more hours that I put in, the more money I made, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, let's say you get into flipping devices, like, let's say you make $5 to $10 per ride, right? And that takes you like 6 hours. You make $60, right? Pretty normal, actually. Maybe a little bit more, right? But guys, I bought this phone last night. I didn't even drive to it. Like, it literally was delivered to my house. I bought this phone for 150 bucks. It's gonna sell for 240 bucks. Pretty good deal. Like,
Hard to beat.
it's hard to beat that. And a lot less work. I honestly didn't do any work to get, other than talking to the guy. And I mean, last night I did drive to an arcade to buy 20 Oculuses. I mean, obviously I'm gonna drive to that. I also made a very good connection, um, and I'm buying like 40 more next week. So you
That's
can't
a lot of
really beat that.
Oculuses.
And I got into an arcade for free, which is pretty cool. And every time I go there from now on, I'll probably get in for free, which is great. So benefit of the business. Um, but yeah, guys, you just got to do more volume. A lot of you guys are surprised when we come across slam dunk deals. We're not, right? Like we put in the volume and basically force those deals to happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna
It's a law
happen
of
eventually.
averages.
If you have a little bit of knowledge and you're willing to put in a ton of volume, you're inevitably gonna come across some deals that just are like amazing. Like people, like I posted in the phone flipping games last night that I bought 20 Oculuses, and people were just like, "How did that happen?" Like you're so lucky, kind of stuff. No,
Oh
it's not.
gosh.
Like it's
Yeah.
not luck at all. It's just,
Yeah.
I know what I'm looking for and I
Uh-huh.
message people. That's all I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And I just so happened to hit the right person.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, I got a ton of these. Like, and what did I
Yeah.
send him? Hey, I run a company that buys iPhones, MacBooks, smartwatches, cameras, VR sets, game consoles, and more. If I were to pay cash today, would you be willing to go? I literally shotgun that out to 20 people a day. That's
Yeah.
all I do. I only do 20 reach outs a day. I get enough Google leads a day that I can make money just off of that. But like I still do the 20 reach outs just because like there's opportunities out there, and like if you don't get enough leads that day, you can kind of work around it with the reach outs.
Yeah.
You do 20 reach outs a day and you do that 5 days a week, it's hard not to get a deal. Really, like very
It's
difficult.
true.
You'd have to actually try to not get a deal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to like sabotage yourself. So,
Yeah.
all right, so that's kind of the core four, guys. Like reach outs, paid ads, diversification, negotiation. Now, like, what does it take to go to six figures? Right? Like, what does that take? So it's a reiteration of the first four, just in a different way. Okay, I call this. So reach outs are kind of like a level 1 skill set, right? Paid ads are like a level 2 skill set. Diversification is a level 2 skill set. Negotiation is like a 1 and 2. This, what I'm about to talk about, is level 3 in what I call level 3. So the first one is you want to partner with other resellers. I'm going to give you guys a statistic that I've seen over the years. Only about 2 out of 10 resellers or phone flippers actually sell online. That's crazy. Like most of them are local flippers. Like they buy locally, sell locally. Okay. So they leave a ton of money on the table all the time. Right.
True.
And they
True.
can't move volume. Like they just can't in that way. It's very difficult doing it that way. Because they're number one, they're meeting up to buy and then they're meeting up to sell. Right. Whereas with me, I just buy and then I ship everything out. Do I pay fees? Yes, I pay fees. Oh my gosh. Like you pay taxes too. Like there's gonna be fees for convenience, guys. Like that's how it works. And I'm okay with that because I get to stay home all the time. My kid's homeschooled. My wife is at home all the time. Like those are the benefits of paying those fees. Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
So buying from other resellers, that's the next thing you want to do. How do you find those resellers? You literally go to Marketplace, type in cash for phones, and all of them will show up. Amazing, right? Like so hard. And what do you do? What do
They're
you do?
out there.
Oh man, you send the same message that you did for the reach outs to regular people. You're like,
It's true.
hey, I run a company that buys blah 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 blah. You know, do you have phones that you come across all the time? I'd love to buy them. Now on these, you're trading. It's another convenience thing. You're basically paying a time fee in exchange for less profit, right? So, you might make $50 per phone or $50 per device on this because they got to make some money too, right? But that happens and that's fine, right? But you then start moving more volume. You got a great connection. You're getting stuff on the daily, right? So that's really important. The next one is, oh heck, where is it at? Let me pull up my document. I'm trying to remember. I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But I'll pull this up for a good visual for you guys to see. That way you understand what I'm talking about. That. Here we go. Oh, and I did it in the wrong order too, but that's okay. The visual will help you guys.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Okay. So we talked about reach outs, social ads, diversification, negotiation. I talked about other resellers. That's actually after Google My Business. Okay. Google My Business is something that you want to set up if you plan going to six figures. Okay. The reason I say that is because it's an asset that has to be built long term. Okay. And once you start building it, it's like a snowball. Okay. Like people will start finding you whenever they're searching for Eco ATM. It'll give you massive credibility in the marketplace. you have reviews, you have photos with customers, you have things like that. It gives you just massive, massive credibility in the marketplace. So definitely recommend setting that up. Nowadays, more than likely need an LLC to get it. We do help set it up in Recelerator, the guidance and everything there. The next thing is stores. So what kind of stores am I talking about? I'm talking about pawn shops. I'm talking about repair shops. I'm talking about places that AT&T, all of those places. Okay, the places that come into contact with electronics on like a daily basis. Now, there's a couple of ways you want to go about this. You want to, number one, you want to make a connection with them and basically turn them into a lead generating asset. Okay, a lot of like, let's say pawn shops. Pawn shops don't buy financed phones, right? They also don't buy broken electronics. So what can you do with that? Well, you can be like, hey, you guys don't buy these things. Would you guys mind sending them to me? There you go. Lead generating asset. I call it creating an extension of yourself, right? That's basically what an ad is in essence, is you're just creating an essence or a extension of your business, right? So pawn shops, repair shops, but guys, you'd be surprised how many repair shops don't buy phones. Amazing.
That is true. It's shocking, really. Like, you guys would be shocked. Like, I don't know why these guys are just passing up on money. I guess they like less of it, but they don't. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, a lot of repair shops don't buy phones, guys, and you can segue those leads directly to you. Okay. AT&T, we have one of our students who is about to go full time, quitting his job. He connects with AT&T and Verizon reps all the time.
Yep.
So he does a great job of that. And it's a great way to basically just get phones all the time for really good prices. Because basically these reps will buy the phones from the people if AT&T or Verizon doesn't buy them, because a lot of times they won't take broken devices or used or something, or they just don't give good prices, right? Or people don't want trade-in value; they want cash. So those are other ways. The last one I want to talk about is repeats and referrals. So this is the most important part of the business. The reason I say that is because you want 50 to 60% of your entire business to be made up of these customers. Okay, if you can get your business to 50% repeat customers, and those repeat customers are giving you referrals on, a pretty consistent basis, you're making freaking money for free. It's amazing how well that works. So example, the guy that's messaging me right now, he sent me the serial number on the iPad. He sold me, this will be the 6th device that he sold me in a week. And how many more do you think he's going to sell me during the year? Probably a good amount, because he's been this consistent so far. So the reason I say that is you want to be making $500 to $1,000 per repeat customer per year. Guys, if you get 100 repeat customers, now it might take you 25,000 messages to do that, right? Unless you're really good at, customer service, which all of you need to get good at. But if you have 100 repeat customers per year, guys, and you're making 500 per, it's 50 grand a year, just free flowing money, basically, right? Now, if they're bringing you 1,000, there you go. There's your 100K, right? So, and then on top of that, if they're giving you referrals as well, guys, it's a never-ending money loop at that point. It's just
hard to lose.
The whole point here is like that part of it, and I'm going to tell you guys the unsexy part of this business. You have to build it. Like, even if you were to join Recelerator, right? Like our guaranteed to work 5K cash flowing program, if you do the work anyway, cannot get you there if you don't do it, right? If you don't build the repeat customer base, if you don't build your Google My Business, if you don't do these things, it makes it very difficult to grow, right? And it's very difficult to get to 6 figures. And a lot of like quote unquote full-time phone flippers stay stuck in the first 4 quadrant, right? They're doing
Mhm.
reach outs, they're doing paid social ads, they're doing, well, they're not doing diversification and they're, negotiation. But like a lot of people stay stuck there and they're stuck at like 20, 30K a year, right?
Mhm.
Like that's where they just stay. You got to do more. I'm just going to say it, like you have to do, and that's the unsexy part of this business is you just have to do more, right? So it's kind of the sad truth of any business. Like if you don't, now there's a couple ways you can do more. Like you can leverage more, right? Like you can hire people, you can hire VAs to do reach outs on your behalf. You can do that. I've done that. Works great, right? Um, why am I doing it myself right now? It's great YouTube content. Let's be real, you know. I mean, not gonna lie, it's great content, you know. Um, why am I meeting up with my own customers? It makes fantastic YouTube content. So, I won't lie, and yeah, I mean, really, guys, like all you have to do is just more, and a lot of you guys know what to do, and you might be going through the courses, you might be going through my YouTube videos over and over and over again, and you're like, "Ooh, that's a good nugget," and then guess what? You never use it. So a lot of you guys are doing. Like you're just mentally working. You're like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that over and over and over and over and over again, and you just never do it. So you know what? So I bought a course um, last Friday. Was it last Friday? I can't remember. It might have been Saturday. I bought a course last Friday. I bought it at 9:30 p.m. ish, right? And I got in the course. I watched the first video, which was like 2 hours long. I turned it up to 2x, right? I did exactly what the guy said immediately and put it into action. Immediately. The next day, I got the desired result, he said. I made a sale for Recelerator, basically. Like on exactly what he said to do. A lot of you guys don't do that. Like you'll watch one of my videos and then put it off. You should just go and do it right then and there while it's fresh. I call that like staying in the, so in reselling, I call it the buyer's high, right? When you buy an item, you're, excited. When you learn something, the same thing happens. You get a dopamine hit. A lot of you guys don't stay in the dopamine hit. You go home, you get comfortable, the dopamine goes away, and then you do nothing. So, but I got the desired result right after I implemented what the guy said in the course. That's what you guys should be doing. You should be implementing things while you're learning them. Like I was literally building the page or the document that he said as I was watching the video. And I was like, oh, this is good right now. Oh, this is good right now. If you start doing that, you'll start seeing results a lot faster. So just saying. Matt, you got anything to add to that? I know I kind of went on a
Um,
little rant there, but
no, it's all good. Yeah, I think the thing that dispels belief the most is taking action. Once you start to cultivate the experience to reinforce the knowledge you're being exposed to, you have the immediate validation that you're looking for. You're looking for proof. A lot of people, they want guarantees before they take action. Tell me where that really happens most of the time in life. Like, um, where you actually get the result before you put in the effort to produce said result. I don't understand. Like, I get like, so I think you just need to like, kill all of your anxiety and worry about anything that could potentially happen. Like when people ask really kind of less necessary questions about reselling and making money, like, what about getting scammed? Um, what if I buy the wrong thing? Like, okay, I understand those questions, but like, what if you buy the right thing? What if you don't get scammed? Right? Like, why do we take things that happen to the margin and then put them at the center of our focus? Stop doing that. Like, take the things that are going to produce the right result and focus on those things. Yeah, like some of these other things are going to happen to the wayside, but through the process, you're going to figure it out. You're going to probably prove your challenging thoughts and beliefs to be wrong, because you're going to have the immediate feedback that you need. Um, to keep moving forward and build out your business. And also, you're going to have confidence. Like there's momentum to this game, just like every other game. You guys are watching the Olympics right now, and I guarantee you, like stepping onto any athletic field, confidence is a huge thing. And sometimes the best team doesn't win because they're the most talented. Sometimes a team wins because they were sure, they were certain. And my favorite way to make myself sure and certain is to look at the data and then take the calculated risk. Like unless I cross this line and put forth like the necessary action to produce the desired result, I'm not going to have anything to feed back into like my thoughts that are like currently burying me because I haven't done anything with the knowledge that I've acquired yet. And I think there are so many people that have sidelined themselves and they're watching all these other people like entrepreneurs and stuff and business owners and even side hustlers just like run past them. Oh my gosh, Chris, how did you get a deal? Well, like, okay, if Chris is playing baseball and he steps up to the plate and he says, all right, I'm going to take 100 swings today in front of this pitcher. Some of those are going to be great hits and some of those aren't. But in the end, the most important thing is the process. It's the system. He took 100 swings, right? And everybody wants to obsess over the home run that suddenly Chris got. Oh my gosh, he hit a home run. It's like, how do I hit a home run?
Yeah.
Well, you do the same thing. Like
you take a lot of swings.
Simple.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I don't think, people just don't take enough swings. That's a really good analogy, and I like that. Like if you just take more swings, you'll hit more balls. Like that's just how the whole thing works.
All I want is base hits, man. All I want is base hits. I know the home runs and the grand slams will be there, right? But they're
you need to find a base hit, like for the audience.
Share my screen. Okay, no, I can't share.
Oh, hold on. I'll enable it for you. Go for it.
Sure.
You need to find a base hit for the audience.
Yeah. I'm just going to share this with everybody. You guys,
I love this.
This is just math. This is standard deviation, right? But this is say you take any set of data, right? And the majority of the data, 68% of it falls within this like central portion of this, right? Like, and then the remaining like 95% falls to this outer portion outside of these first like kind of like hashed lines. And then 97.7% falls out here to the wayside. So another way I like of looking at this is like you've got let's see, what 2.3% that falls out here, okay? And then you've got roughly 5% that falls out here, and then you've got a lot of the rest that pretty much falls in the center. People in this business, like they obsess over getting scammed. Getting scammed is out here to the margin, okay? That's to the margin of this experience. But I would also say like getting crazy, awesome, mega big deals, like when Aaron Goldstein had like I don't know, he flipped so many phones, it was stupid. He did like 25K in like one deal or 22K in one deal. And people go, oh my gosh, how did you get that deal? Well, that deal is out here to the margin. You're obsessing over like these things that are on the fringe. What you need to focus on is what's right here. Okay. This is base hits right here in the center. And it's just math. That's all it is. It's just the law of averages, right? You get more base hits, and sometimes you get deals out here, and sometimes you get deals out here. You meet up with enough people, sometimes there's a few shady people here and there, okay? But it's not what happens most of the time. Okay, it just isn't.
I mean, you could apply this to reach outs too. Like the majority of the deals you're going to get are going to be in the median, like
right.
So I mean, that's just kind of how it's going to work. Like I love this graph because it applies to literally everything.
It does.
And like I have it. I actually have like a calculator built specifically for this. That helps me understand it. And actually, I think I should put that in. I should probably put that in Recelerator. Actually, gives people a good visual on how things work. I did it for marketing, not for buying. But I like this. I love this graph because it literally will show you exactly what you need to do to hit, whatever you need to do. So I love it. So with that being said, guys, we can sum this up in you want to be a six-figure flipper, like we can sum it up in 3 words or 2 words. Do more. Just do more. Like that's really what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and say there's a hack because there's not. Like you just have to do more. You have to do more to get better, and then by doing more, you get better and make more money. And like that's kind of how the whole game works. So, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that there's a perfect hashtag you need to use that'll bring $50,000 to you. Like that's not gonna happen. Like so. Yeah. Well, I don't have anything to add. I hope you guys liked it. Anything else to add, Matt?
I just think that most people, stop. Hope is a good thing, but guys, it is a bad strategy. Don't sit on the sideline and hope that this is just going to go right for you. Um, Prove yourself wrong as often as you can. And as soon as you can take action and get instantaneous feedback for what you did, you're automatically going to be able to steer that vehicle in a better direction because it is in motion. And I think most people, um, they just don't, they just don't start, or they keep finding reasons to cause themselves to stop. And a poor plan executed today is better than the perfect plan executed tomorrow, because at least you have something to work with. At least you got something that you can put in play, and you have something that is immediately responding, to that internal narrative of can I do this or can't I? And so, quiet those thoughts and take action, and surround yourself with voices of encouragement and people who are the type of people who take action. And if your immediate circle of trust is a bunch of people who really aren't like that, it might be time to be judicious about who's in your corner and who shouldn't be. Just being dead honest. and
I need
and
to
so
pay
I
to get
think
to people that are just like that. Where one of the biggest things I did was, I paid to be with the right people. You know, there's only there a lot of times there's only one way to get into those higher level goal oriented communities, and unfortunately, you got to pay. You know, either you provide a ton of value, like a ton of value, or you just pay, and that's okay because like the reason that payment is there most of the time is to disqualify people. Like we disqualify people for Recelerator all the time. Most people are not qualified, right? Because and the reason, like I have people that are just like, oh, you should be a lot cheaper. Let a lot more people in. I'll tell you guys one thing. Usually those people that come in normally a lot cheaper are not the people we want to work with, and they're not the people that actually hit the goals that they want. They usually don't do much. Just being real. Like, and I know that sounds mean and rude, but like that's the reason we do it is so that it's full of high quality people. I joined a mastermind. It was 24K a year twice because I wanted to be around the right people. What did that do? It increased. Everybody in there was making more than me. Everybody. What does that force you to do? It forces you to make more. Because if you're the lowest guy in there, you're like, oh my gosh, like this guy's making $500,000. Like, dude, like, it forces you to do better.
it does.
Like, and I would say that's more of a compelling force than the whole like the money making part. Is you want to be with everybody else, like just like how in school you want to be cool, like your friends or like the cool kids. You do the things that are necessary to be cool, right? So whenever you join high level communities, it kind of like forces you to be better, provide more value, and make more so that you can talk about the same things they can talk about. I mean, that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of putting yourself under the lens of peer pressure, but to use it in a way that, draws you to the desired result.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I remember what Mosey
I
talked about
met
that.
some of those people like last July. You and I were in Scottsdale, with Aaron, and
Yeah.
met some, honestly, some really quality people in that. They all have different goals and dreams, but in a lot of ways, there's a silver lining there. There's a similar thread between all that of what these people are trying to accomplish. And I think I think for those of you who listen to Chris, who get to, listen to these conversations between Chris and I, and want to be a part of something like this, or you're just trying to make some extra money, invest in yourself, guys. Invest in yourself, okay, and take action. And if you need to, run it back. Listen to this one again, okay? But becoming a six-figure reseller is very simple. And you heard Chris at the beginning of this conversation talk about the roughly 10 to 12 different individuals over the last 2 years that we've seen. Become that's like one, like every 2 months at
Yeah,
least.
and that'll accelerate probably next year. Like we'll probably
Yeah,
be up to like 25 or 30 next year. Like we haven't been
yep,
doing this that long. So
it's true.
time is a factor, definitely, right?
Yep,
Um,
yep,
I mean, I've been doing the coaching thing for 4 years since Dave and everything, but with you, me, and Aaron, like we'll see a lot more six-figure flippers happening just by default. Like
yep.
we're already outpacing the law of averages, which is pretty cool. So
So
with the amount, like we've had 150 or so join Recelerator, and out of those, 12 are six-figure flippers right now, like making 8 to 10K a month in profit. So
fantastic.
like that, the percentage there is not 1%; it's like 10%, which
Which
is
is
where I'm sorry, more like 7%, which is really good,
still
really,
ahead.
really
Yep.
good at really good odds, right? But the thing is, like all those guys, they put in the work. Like that's
Hmm.
the real thing. Like
Hmm.
Brandon, Navon, Isaac, uh, Jared,
Jackson.
all of those guys put in the work, and they know, and they'll tell you like I just do more than you, and that's kind of the game. Like I spend more on ads than you, I do more reach outs than you, they just do more,
Hmm.
and a lot of you like you guys see the home runs they make, and like Matt was talking about, like if you hit enough, I mean, you take 100 hits, one of them is going to be a home run. You know,
True.
I mean, if you look at like if you actually put this in baseball terms and you look at the percentages, most of
Yeah.
them, what is it? They hit 3 out of 10 balls, something like that, and that's like considered incredibly good.
Right.
Like that's Hall of Fame, like
Right. Or
so.
like somebody who shoots three pointers, and it's like, this guy's making 4 out of every 10 3-pointers he hits.
Yeah.
What a baller. Like, people are like, that's like Steph Curry status. Right. Okay, so wait, you mean he's missing 6 to 7 out of every 10 and he's awesome? Like, do you guys understand how culture frames this in different terms that we've all agreed to? Yet you look at this and go, I don't know if that's gonna work. Be like, bro, get it, stop. Just yeah, yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I think that'll be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments if you would. And if you guys are interested in stuff, you guys can check out my description in the description area of YouTube. And by the way, guys, we the first round of the phone flipping games has started. By the way, first round. So if you guys want to hop in on that, it's $7 a month to join. Cancel anytime, doesn't matter to me. You get a whole tracking sheet and everything. And if you win the games, me and my team will build your phone flipping reselling business to the point where it generates $5,000 in profit per month.
Yes.
We'll do that for you, with you, all of that stuff, if you win. So definitely check out the phone flipping games. It's hard to not make your investment back on that. You call me a scammer for $7 a month, I don't really know what to tell you. You probably are the problem. So
Get that checked out.
with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Smart Flip Podcast. Have a great day. Keep crushing and do more.